Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's so good to have you here. I hope you're all doing well and thank you so much for all the well wishes that you have given me over the last few days. It means a lot. I am doing a little bit better today, feeling a bit more up to it. So I thought I got a new mic, so hopefully the sound is much improved. But I thought I'd jump on, do something quite simple, which is the 1 million subscribers video, just to kick myself back into gear again. This has been highly recommended since I even done High Ren, which was a month ago, and what a month it's been. But it was even more so recommended after I'd done the fire in the booth. So I really want to check this out. I don't know much about it, if anything, to be fair. So I'm not sure whether it's music, whether it's like a poem, whether he's going to spin around and jump on that keyboard in the back. I don't know. I've learned to just take everything with Ren with a grain of salt because he'll always surprise me somewhere. So without further ado, let's get into it.
I want to keep this short and sweet because I wrote something that I want to share with you. But first of all, I just want to say how grateful I am. I've reached 1 million subscribers on YouTube, which is a flipping huge milestone. I wanted to say thank you to everyone who supported my music over the years, whether you're newly on board or have been here for a while. I wanted to say thank you to the YouTube reaction community who have gotten behind my stuff in a big way and really helped me reach this goal. So thank you guys.
Oh, I absolutely love that. I mean, I'm newly on board to Ren. It got recommended to me to watch High Ren to do this, the reaction. There's a lot of his catalogue that just it goes on and on. I can understand why the rabbit hole is there, but it's nice to hear. It's nice that he's just thanked the reaction community. I think that's such a lovely thing, especially I see the reaction community. I'd imagine it being quite an honor to have someone react to you. I think having someone take the time to watch and just kind of let you relive the moment, especially if Ren watches them, which I've heard he does sometimes. I just think it's an amazing thing. So the fact that he's took time to acknowledge them, which I suppose I can class myself into it as into it now, but I think it's a lovely thing that he's took the time to acknowledge. And old fans, new fans, he's just you can tell he cares about the community already, and we're not that far in 20 seconds. So yeah, I've got to admit, I do admire him. I think he's a lovely lad.
Behind my stuff in a big way and really helped me reach this goal. So thank you guys. Yeah, I wanted to read this passage that I wrote about success. It's too much for me to remember right now, so bear with me. But yeah, success to me means that I have a responsibility that transcends me. If I have a platform where people are paying attention, then I feel like it's my duty to make that count. It's far more important than my aspirations with music and what I could personally gain. There's a saying that stuck with me recently, which was a rising tide lifts all ships. Somehow, by finding success for myself has meant that I can find success for the people around me.
I just have to point out, I love the fact that he's acknowledging the power that he has, the community that he has, that he's a voice for a lot of people, and that he's give, for lack of a better word, like lightness to the dark that people go through. Just on the last few videos I've watched, it's made me feel much better about my condition and where I am coming from and how I've felt. So he's definitely very self-aware, and I think I love that. Not many people are, and those that have power, there is a saying, isn't it? Power corrupts, absolutely. So I think it's amazing that he acknowledges that he wants to do something good with it, and I think that's, um, yeah, it's lovely. It's a really nice thing.
Somehow, by finding success for myself has meant that I can find success for the people around me, and that makes me feel very rich. I'm in a very strange position right now where I owe much of my success to the most destructive force in my life, which has been the turbulence of my physical and mental illness. The thing that has by far brought me the most pain has been a source of constant inspiration, which ironically led to creations which brought me the most joy. Creating art which means something to somebody else and can potentially be a companion to somebody else in the dark justifies my own pain, and I desperately needed that to be justified. There are a lot of people alive today who live in the dark.
Oh, I find that really interesting, that choice of phrase. I desperately needed that to be justified. And I can understand for me, it'd be like when I first got diagnosed and I was going through all the medical stuff and I weren't getting any answers. And then I just kept on. Each day was becoming more and more of a struggle. Um, I kept thinking to myself, surely to God there's a point to this. Surely to God there's got to be something good that can come out of it. And you seek justification. It's like in stories, characters are given like hardships, but at the end of the story, 9 times out of ten, excuse me, 9 times out of ten, it's justified. It's they go through the hardships, and there's a lesson to be learned at the end of it, or they become stronger for it at the end and stuff like that. So I can definitely understand what he means by that, and it's I think he's put into practice because his music, because of the pain he's been in, has managed to touch quite a. I'd like to think maybe a niche community, like a very isolated community, um, that needed a light in the dark, that needed someone to that he could listen to, that made them feel a bit understood. From my point of view, anyway.
Did that to be justified. There are a lot of people alive today who live in the dark. It's a place that I'm very familiar with. In the peak of my health problems, I was severely underweight. All my meals had to be restricted and blended, and I was so tired that I couldn't participate in life. I couldn't socialize, I couldn't watch films, I couldn't read. My bones constantly hurt. Even standing in the shower was excruciating and exhausting. And this went on for years, with no answers. Nobody could have ever convinced me during that time that my pain and suffering would be a source for something good, because it felt insidious. Nobody could have ever convinced me that something constructive can come from hurting every day.
It really breaks my heart that he found himself back there then for a second. Like you could tell that it affected him, and I find it. I might be wrong, but whenever I go to the hospital and I have to meet someone new, and it's always the same question. So, how can I help you today? And it's like, really, like I have to go through this again. I have to explain all the hard bits. I have to explain all the ways that the illness can make you feel. And when you're describing it, you go right back to the most painful point of that time. You don't think of just like when it was a little bit bad or when it was bearable. You go back to the worst point because that's the height. That's the like pinnacle of it for you. And it's like when he was talking about then of like restricted foods, restricted diet, losing weight, and then fatigue, and yeah, he definitely went back then, and that was quite sad to watch. To be fair, because it must be really difficult, especially what I've learned about him and what he's gone through.
Convince me that something constructive can come from hurting every day. But I'm here to tell you that if you are hurting every day, don't be afraid. One thing I know to be a certain, to be a constant law of the universe, is that life is inconsistent. Life is beautiful and life is hideous. Life is kind and life is cruel. Dancing inside this dichotomy and inconsistency makes me know that you won't hurt forever, whether that comes from resolution of what you're going through or acceptance of where you are. You won't hurt forever. You don't know yet whether or not your pain conceals gold. It definitely conceals wisdom, and it's definitely a catalyst for filling you with empathy. So stand strong, my friends, and don't let the darkness consume you, because once you know the dark and become intimate with it, you become very capable of wielding the light. You could be instrumental for changing this world for the better. There's nothing humble about shrinking or doubting yourself because you are large. You can be ferocious and you could be magnificent. For the
I love that. He, the slight little nod, the slight little look that he gave to the camera then when he went, you could be large, you could be ferocious, you could be magnificent. I hope I got that in the right order. But then he gives a slight look to the camera, as in like he's going, yeah, I'm talking to you. You best be listening to me because you are amazing. I don't know. He's got a way of connecting with the camera that just isolates you in the wisdom that he's saying, or isolates you in the storytelling. He does it with his music. He finds a way to captivate you, whether it's the sounds, whether it's the lyrics, whether it's his demeanor, whether it's the just him speaking. He finds a way to make sure that the point gets across to you, and I think that's an incredible gift. Um, but I did like that. It's amazing to hear as well, especially for those that are in pain or are in the dark and are still trying to find a way out. I think having someone like Ren is an incredible addition to life, because we all need someone like that, and I think the community itself speaks upon it. That I haven't met anyone really that's not been absolutely lovely. So he's finding the right people at the right time.
Be ferocious and you could be magnificent.
I'm listening.
For the medical industry, who too often let people fall through the cracks, it's your duty to do better. For the people living in the light, who have either stepped out of their shadow or have never had to walk beside it, it's your responsibility to put out untainted love. Our own greed, desire to ferociously expand, and decisions rooted in self-interest can benefit ourselves in a material sense, but can be very destructive to the hive and the world around us, ultimately hurting ourselves. So we really must consider that if we're going to step into a bright future. As humans, we have an incredible potential, and it would be a shame to throw it away. So community, humanity, and changing our relationship with the natural world so it leans more towards homeostasis must be a priority number one. If you're watching this and there's a knot tied up in your stomach with bitterness, anger, or hatred for your fellow human being, be with it, feel it, understand it, express it, and then let it go. You're hurting. Give yourself love, forgive yourself, and then project that love outwards, and the anger will pass. We have a decision in every interaction to tilt the world towards heaven or hell, towards Jannah or Jahannam, utopia or dystopia, and some people's ideas of heaven will be another's image of hell. So tread carefully, but treat those differences with respect. Tapestry.
I absolutely love that. Sorry, I know. Normally, I try and put my own thoughts quite a bit into it, but I couldn't have said anything any better than what he did then. Um, I agree. Everything would be a lot better if it was just a respectful world. If we respected ourselves, if we respected each other, it's a community that would thrive. Um, even even the way he pretty much said though, in terms of people will disagree, or people will, one version of heaven is another person's version of hell. Even with them differences, even with them disagreements, always treat it with respect, and I think that's all we can ask. I really love that. I thought that was an amazing little segment there.
Hell. So tread carefully, but treat those differences with respect. Tapestries are made beautiful because of the variety in the sum of their parts.
Love that.
Thank you to 1 million people inside this rich tapestry for the opportunity for me to try and spread my own vision of what I believe to be good. And thank you for justifying my pain. Thank you. I love you.
Oh, I I started my journey just with Ren. I wasn't sure what I was getting into. It wasn't the type of music that I normally listen to. I found myself captivated with the storytelling. I found myself captivated with the talent that was on show. And it made me want to know more because I'd heard that he'd done other stuff that was completely different to High Ren. I've always done the music. So this is the first time really that I'd sat down and watched the person himself. However, obviously I have watched chapter one of his 8 chapters, I believe it is, and seeing that and then seeing this put everything into a bit more of a perspective for me of just what type of man he is, and I love it. I think it's so. I think it's such a pleasure to have encountered an artist like Ren, and he's definitely made me think of things in a different way. He's made me appreciate the art form a bit more, that is rap. Um, I found myself wanting to discover more. I found myself loving the comments and finding out the community, the renegades, and discussing things with you and just talking. I think yous are all incredible, and I can understand how like we surround ourselves with good people, and Ren has surrounded himself with a great community, and that shows. I mean, he done this 1 million subscriber video, and now he's got 2.57 million. The fact it fills me with a lot of hope to know that there's probably 2.57 million people who share his ideology, who share his passion, his empathy, um, and that does make me smile, and I'm very I'm very happy for someone that was very bitter at the world, because I was. Um, that makes me happy. So thank you so much for recommending that. That was a really interesting video, and it was one that I really enjoyed doing. Coming back after being sick myself, it was some words that I kind of needed to hear at this time. So thank you, Ren. Um, you'll be pleased to know, everyone, that I will be doing the big push. That I've got a few videos listed that I want to react to. The kind of set up ready to do, but I just haven't done them yet. I'm excited because I don't know. Everyone kind of separates Ren and the big push in a few different ways. So I'm excited to see what I see in the videos and what the music's like. Um, but yeah, they will be coming soon, I promise. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you all have a good weekend. Had a good weekend, sorry. You can tell I've lost my days a bit. But thank you so much for visiting. Thank you so much for staying. Thank you all for the support. And as I always say, stay safe, stay kind, and I'll catch you next time. Thank you. Bye.